there's one missing.
Roberts.
Oh no, they're over there.
Roberts has it.
Oh, Robert's playing it. A little about us. We're out of San Diego. We're brothers. We got another brother that helps us out build these things, all in house. My younger brother designs them, or he designs them. My brother does the CAD work and kind of CC milling. We do all the woodworking in house, all the finish. He does all these incredible finishes on these guys. Kind of from where we started, I think. I'll just grab a guitar here. Kind of our starting model, what we did was the Hades through neck. This has a quilted top, kind of an emerald burst going on here, bird's eye maple fingerboard. And then a lot of what we're known for is our through necks. It's really nice contoured heel where you can just go get all the way up there. Really comfortable. Oh, jeez, almost dropped it.
It's on sale now.
Restock.
And a lot of stuff we do is custom work, so you can order different tops, flame, quilt, buckeye. We got some other interesting tops here. In the back, a lot of what we do is a maple, 5-piece maple walnut neck, and then alder, mahogany, black limba, some different interesting woods to kind of make it your own and go from there. So that's kind of the main model we sell. And from there we kind of branched off. This is kind of a more custom guitar here. Let's try to get it framed, I guess. So this is a buckeye top. A little more work involved in this guy. It's kind of like the wart on the side of a tree. So there's no real
It's a tree tumor.
tree tumor. There's no real grain pattern to it, but it makes it a unique top. And then this is actually all matte finish, mahogany sides, 5-piece neck. And also what we have is Acacia locking tuners. So we haven't used locking tuners. There's something to look into a little bit. Really easy to tune, keep them restring. This will make them really easy. There's some other stuff.
Some mustache guitar.
And, so this year is we unveiled our new shape. We've actually designed it a few years ago, but we remolded it, kind of rethought it all out. So this is our set neck design, where it's if you look here, it's actually angled back, and this is all carved into the neck, so it all slants back a little bit, gives you a little more comfortability resting here. And this has pretty select mahogany, so this actually matches all the way through. It's kind of one board going on, so we cut it, put it back in there. And then all our guitars have what is kind of unique is we do a dual action truss rod and then carbon fiber on each side of that. There's these strips of carbon fiber, so everything keeps real stiff during weather changes and all that, or just in bending, You could have some softer woods or whatnot, but it keeps it nice and sturdy. So that's if you feel them, they're pretty stiff. But yeah. What else? Oh, hip shot bridge here. This is a hip shot tonomatic bridge. Most tunomatics are kind of just fixed in place. There's a little bit of adjustability. This thing has each individual saddle is adjustable, and you can actually adjust the bridge itself, up and down or left and right. So a lot of if you tune maybe a little lower than normal, this will give you that room on a fixed bridge that you can push back and re-intonate it.
Has a ½ inch of travel, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of guys who ship a guitar. The first thing you do is rip the strings off, put giant strings, and tune it to G or something crazy.
Yeah.
And this can handle those bridges. Even the regular hip shot bridges have plenty of travel for that.
Really nice flame top on that guy. You'll see the grain coming through. And when we're done here, feel free to play these guys. So what else to show you here? This is kind of a new unveil for the year, I guess. Right here at RNA Music. This is our Romulus shape, but it's a carved top version. So if you look, it's all carved in a new hip shot bridge. It's a Ibanez.
It's a Gibraltar replacement bridge, but what's nice about it is it's really a giant piece of brass machined down, and it just has more resonance than the regular bridges. But it's a whole different tone. I mean, you already have the carved top, So you're gonna get more of that kind of Les Paul sound anyways, and that just gives you more sustain, really.
Yeah, it kind of rings out a lot more coverage on the guitar. And the back is a little different, unique neck there. Walnut, mahogany, maple, and then a couple of walnut stripes. So 7-piece deck. And then we have a flame maple binding wrapped around the fingerboard. So a couple new options for the year. We'll probably build a couple more for NAMM. Maybe this
is
guy's
the second one. The
Yeah.
one before was had a flame top and it was matte. Did we have
It was
pictures of
like
that
matte
online
black.
or anything? I don't know if we even posted it online because it was a
Bit
prototype.
of a prototype.
It was really cool.
So yeah, you're here. You see it first.
Woo! There you go.
RNA music.
Nice. Grab the Baker model, I guess.
And then I guess this is a popular model here. This is the Hades shape, but it's a Pro Series. We've done a few videos on this. Robert Baker's done a couple for us. Thank you, Robert Baker. And Ryan's done a couple videos.
Yeah.
This is his guitar in the shop here. The Pro Series is typically an ash body, maple neck, maple fingerboard, with a matching headstock cap to your color, but it's a satin, natural grain satin finish. So if you can see it from here, but you can also feel the grain still. So it's a really cool, neat feature. And then we also have our bolt-on contoured heels. So the same thing, almost a through necks, but this gives you a little more access, and it's not just a block on some of the normal bolt-ons that you would use. So that's all kind of naturally contoured to your hand to just flow right in there. Get up. And our shapes have that nice cutaway here to get all the way up. And these still come with the dual action and the carbon fiber. So, pretty neat.
Yeah, and affordable.
Yeah, affordable.
And affordable. They're about probably half of our customs. So it's a little more easy to get into.
Is there anything special about the frets?
No, nothing at all.
Well, the next the pros
Yeah, I can
don't
show you
come
here.
with- they
So
don't come with
our
stamps.
frets. Great question.
That is a good question.
We do. It's a tangless fret really. So we have our CNC machine actually cut the fret tang out, or the fret slot, and from the side we cut the tang, and it's tangless basically. So there's no filling, and that keeps a little more rigid, and you won't really feel the frets go. The wood will.
If you
What are
look
the
at
words?
like any other brand, really, there's only a few people that do this. It's a lot more labor intensive because you have to trim the tang of every single fret.
Yeah, there's a
both
lot more
sides,
custom work
and
into
then
that.
press it in, and you can't get glue in, so you have to pre-glue it. It's a little bit of a chore. We got it down, but essentially the neck's always going to move in width with the weather changes.
Yeah.
And on the traditional way you do it, I don't care how well you do the fretwork, it's going to get sharp on the edge when it gets dry or something. But these, because you're cutting so much metal out of it, and the wood's closed, there's no slots going through, the wood's not going to move as much.
Yeah.
And that way
a
the
little less
metal's-
moisture getting in there. Well,
Control
it's just a
it.
cool look.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Nice clean look. And that comes standard on the pros and the customs. Let me show you the sweet bass.
Yeah.
Brought a bass for you guys. I think only have you played it yet? Where is that guy?
I haven't.
What? Where is he?
Where's the bass player?
Where's the
There
bass
guy. He's not even in here to see this part.
He's too cool to hang out.
This is our Atlas.
He's guarding the grill.
Yeah.
classic bass player.
We brought this out a couple years ago at NAMM. It's an Atlas bass multi-scale. Same thing, dual action truss rod, carbon fiber. Especially with this longer scale length here, you get a lot of movement in the neck, so that keeps it nice and stiff. The same thing, kind of a contoured heel, bolt-on style. See more Duncan pickups. This is like a 5-man EQ system.
This is
A
Steve
lot of
Bailey.
versatility.
If you know Steve Bailey, it's similar to the Steve Bailey EQ system. So it's got a lot of
Yeah.
range. It's got
And these have stainless steel banjo wire fret. So they're kind of small, so you don't get a lot of bending when you're pressing that note down.
yeah. Because of the long scale lengths, we found because we got 32 to I think 37, 36 something,
36 and a half.
36 and a half, which is crazy. So when you get here, it holds the tune really nice. But if you had the big fret wire we use for everything else, by the time you press, you could pull that thing out of tune so easy. So you have to use the small banjo wire essentially. It's stainless, it holds up better, but
Gives it a bright sound compared to nickel frets on a bass. This has a little brighter punch. So, and a cool little blue fade. Teal little blue there.
That's awesome.
The guitars come, well, except for the Pro and the Cronus and the Strat thing, obviously, but we can do fan frets on those too, on the guitars.
Yeah, we do make customs with fans.
We didn't bring them, but
We don't have it here. We can show you this guy, I guess.
Why do you fan the frets on?
it's for the string tension you can even out, especially when guys get crazy about tunings and stuff. They go lower, and then you'll start to notice people are using like bigger and bigger and bigger strings, and then before you know it, there's like extra strings that are wound. It's just out of control. So if you fan it, if you're tuning really low, like if your normal tuning is say like A or drop A or A standard, something crazy, it's going to feel more natural. When you're playing it, it won't be, you're not forcing it to, by putting bigger strings on it, you can just handle the low tunings essentially. That's why it works so well on bass.
Now, if you've been playing a traditional bass for years, how much of a transition is it to go to a fan?
It's
You'd be
really not too
surprised.
bad.
You'd be surprised. Before you know it, you don't have to look. And I remember when I first started
Yeah.
building guitars, I was like, man, this is going to be weird because they look
It's
crazy.
mainly the first couple frets
yeah.
on the lower side.
Everything past the third fret feels
Because you're
totally
stretched out a
natural.
little bit. But here it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it kind of goes with your hand, the way it's supposed to. Instead of just keeping it flat here.
Ergonomic.
Oh, yeah. Well, not on this guy. But. So this is our Romulus shape. It's our heritage model. It's a bolt-on style. If you're like into the Strat style guitars, right? Bolt-on style, 22 fret. Same thing we do. Dual action truss rod, carbon fiber. But there's no skunk strap on that guy. But we also get that contoured heel. Same with the other guys. This has a quilted top,
Yep.
alder body, maple neck, bird's eye maple fingerboard, jumbo nickel frets. So we do use stainless, but we also like to do nickel for the classic type sound. Some of these you don't want a bright ping to it.
Yeah.
So we kind of keep it natural. And Robert's RBS has similar specs to this guy, but a different pickup in here.
And then these pickups, all the pickups, the single coils on here, they're the new stacked Seymour Duncans. So it's two single coils stacked on top, so they're noiseless.
Yeah.
Play a Strat, you'll notice they have that just hum no matter what. You have to control, always hold the volume or have like a noise gate. This you can plug in and it won't make any noise unless you're playing, which is pretty crazy.
Volume tone, 5-way super switch there, and we still have our lock-in tuners with our sweet name on them.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Hey Robert, why don't you come show them that thing?
We got one more here.
This is a good transition from Robert.
Besides the back.
Oh, you want me to show it to you? Scott signed all the backs.
Yeah.
Approval and...
These are fun because you get to make them.
Robert, where you going? Hey everybody, this is Robert Baker. So a little, I guess, surprise we had for him is we finished up his new guitar. We built for him, really.
Yeah, well, we played him at NAMM.
Yeah, we came out with our Cronus earlier this year. He really liked them. We've done some work together, so we had an idea in mind of what we wanted to do for him, and we kind of didn't tell him what I was going to do. Is basically beat up his guitar.
Yeah.
So we made him a Cronus, but I did a Relic finish on it. So a few techniques to kind of make it look like that, but we wanted that, 70s old style single cut look going on, but our shape. The flame maple top, mahogany back and neck, kind of similar to the one we have there. Just a little beat up. Used it too much.
Yeah, used it.
Ebony fingerboard. We went with nickel frets on this. The other guy has stainless steel, but this we still wanted that classic sound. Same thing, dual action truss rod, carbon fiber. And these are the Antiquity Seymour Duncan pickups.
These are custom shop. They're all.
So a little lower output.
Yeah, I'm learning so much about this.
Yeah, he really knows.
I don't know.
And then this is actually the hip shot Tonomatic bridge as well, with all that adjustability. But we got them all tarnished and kind of Relic to match. And these are actually, hip shot Relic tuners.
You did the backplates too, which was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I beat up the back plates.
Night before getting on the
That
plane, I had to
authentic
put this
wood.
on. I just like, scratch.
So came up pretty good. It has that worn out feel.
Yeah, it just
He
feels like.
likes it.
Yeah, just like broken in. It feels like you've been playing it for like 50 years.
Did y'all run it through the airline with a soft bag? Or?
Yeah, I could have.
It's just extra Relic. Like, it'll be fine. Just
I wanted
extra.
it to look. I spent a lot of time making it look exactly like a '59 Les Paul, like pearly gates, like Billy Gibbons. I made it look beautiful, and then Greg just bangs it up. So.
Yeah.
This thing looks amazing. All
Did a
right.
pretty good job on the finish.
I can make them look good. Greg's better at making them look
Oh.
distressed.
It's a gift.
Well, congratulations, Robert, on your
Awesome.
guitar. You guys, before he plays for us, any questions you might have that haven't been answered yet?
So many questions.
Are those guitars for sale, the ones you brought?
There's a few here for sale. Like,
Yeah, let's see.
mainly that row, except for the carved
The
top.
red one, no, but the black, green, the Buckeye, and the Cronus on the end, those are all for sale. And,
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess this one too.
The Pro's for sale. The bass might be for sale. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
But
If you're
yeah,
interested in the bass, let us know.
after Robert plays, we can jam out all these things and
We'll be
talk
around.
about that. So. Everybody, Robert Baker.
Why weren't you guys using the microphone?
Oh, no one's just in the front row either.
The whole time.
That's for turning on for
It doesn't work.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, it does.
The tone even sounds Relic. I'm learning how it all works. Any questions before we get started? I figured I'd just kind of like jam a song, and then if you guys have questions, you can be like, dude, why'd you play that so bad? I'll be like, no, that's just what I do. But questions before we get started? No? All right. Great, now I have to play. Woo. That continually happened in China. It would start over again. Whew. All right.
Yeah.
Any questions about
When's the next song?
hair products? Pantene. I do have a Pantene endorsement, so I need to mention them a certain amount of times. Okay, it's conditioned twice. That's the secret. No. Like I said, and questions at all, it doesn't have to be just about the guitar. It could be about why I don't have a beard. There's all kinds of things.
Why don't you have a beard?
Why don't I, to be honest, I'm just not cool enough. I see a lot of like people with beards. I'm still kind of like intimidated by Adam's beard. And I think I just need to work on that.
You want to sit here in the middle?
No questions. I'm just gonna keep jamming. You guys have to endure like 4 different songs. Is the volume okay? Volume okay?
Sounds good for me. Good to me.
Any question?
Yeah, I got a question, man. I
Yeah,
like
go
that
ahead.
scale. What is that?
Like that scale?
It's like that Japanese style sounding. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it kind of like, well, it kind of sounds like the opening of like an anime show or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually it's just the like Ionian mode secret, but it's actually I can't tell you this, so I'm lying. Everything I'm saying is liar.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
All right.
No, it's just the major scale, and then it's like the pentatonic scale. Let's see if I can handle doing this. Is it's like your minor pentatonic, but then you add the major third. It's a secret. That's why it kind of has that like that like the anime, almost like Japanesey kind of like. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So the secret
Really
is you add your minor third to the minor, or your major third to the minor pentatonic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Pokey metal.
New video.
Pokey metal.
We're taking a whole cut to
Yeah. Gonna quit before I have to try to remember the rest of that. Any other questions? Anybody?
What program do you use to record the
Vacuum tracks?
parts? Yeah.
Yeah. So I use Logic.
Logic.
Logic 10, I think is what it's called. And I barely know how to operate it. So, I'm always impressed when the backing track works. I'm like, yes. But no, it's actually like I've tried using Pro Tools before, and it was like way too complicated because I genuinely don't know what I'm doing when I'm using the program. So it's like Logic is super easy to use. So yeah, and I don't know how to like add synth or any of that stuff. You're just like, I don't know, 2 guitar tracks, done. Anyone else? I feel cool with a microphone.
I've got one. To kind of follow up Holden's question is,
Yes.
so when you're writing a lead like
Mhm.
that, do you have a process that you use? Do you just jam out till you find something that you like, or what's your process for creating the solo?
Yeah, I was kind of doing some lessons kind of about this today. So when I'm writing a solo, it's a lot of like I just start improvising around to figure it out, and then you kind of like figure out the exact path that you're kind of going with the solo, and there'll be different like chord tones or something like that you want to hit. So like in that one, the rhythm section was this. So kind of like actually jazzy chords under the rock progression. So I was outlining different things when I was hitting those inside of the thing. So I was outlining the like. So I was basically outlining different chords when I was doing that.
Nice.
And that's it. Just random notes. And I'm like, you know what? That one totally rocked. And then it doesn't.
I got one, Robert.
Yes.
When you're doing YouTube videos or demos of amps,
Mm-hmm.
do you do any post-processing to the amp? I mean, obviously you're miking up the cab, right?
Well, I use like 2 notes. So I used to mic, and it's like the worst thing ever, miking up a cabinet for me, because it's actually an art form. Like, not even trying to be funny. Like, miking up a cabinet takes a lot of technique that I just don't like. I've never taken the time to learn it. So I have a 2 note, so I record direct out of an amp. But the only post-processing that I do to the guitar signals when I'm demoing that, I don't do anything, because I know some people kind of like produce like it doesn't even sound like the amp anymore.
Right.
But I just take the lows, because you don't need all those that low end in a demo, because the bass and drums are doing that for you.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Is that a harmonizer or something that you're using? Because it almost sounded like there's an octave above going on when you were playing that solo.
Yeah, there's a few parts where I harmonized it in thirds, and that's just on the backing track. So it's like the only part I need to.
So you didn't drop a pedal down, right?
No, oh god, I couldn't operate a pedal and play. Way too much. No, so I just need to like make sure that I hit that, because otherwise it's gonna sound terrible. Because the backing track is the third, so without me rooting it, it would sound really bad. So maybe I should think about that next time. I'll have that be the third, and I'll have to harmonize it. Be so much smarter. See? Thank you. Anyone else? Questions? Should we continue rocking?
More shred.
More shred? All right. lot of reverb on there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for coming out here just for hanging out. And like like they were saying, if you wanted to check out any of these guitars, I won't be a jerk and I'll hang my guitar back up there. I just keep stealing it because I want to keep playing it. But check the guitars out. They've got all kinds of them here for you to jam out on. And Greg with the slow pan to the guitars. Perfect. And of course, I'm going to ask again, any questions?
How do you choose your guitars?
Sometimes you're just in a mood for like a certain kind of guitar. Like this guitar, or single cuts in general, other than like T-style and stuff like that, they've always been kind of like riff guitars for me, and that's why I like these so much. Is because I can actually access the upper frets on the Cronus. So I have a Les Paul and all that stuff, and it's like totally a rhythm guitar. So if I just want to like totally be in rock stance and just like jam on some riffs, like that's the one I like for that kind of stuff. But that's kind of it, so it's kind of limited. So it just depends on what I'm doing. If it's like solo stuff, I got a Superstar. That's usually I use the signature I have with Acacia. So it just depends on what the song calls for. I usually try to mix single coils and humbuckers though if I'm recording, because the single coils have that bite, and then the humbuckers are just like chunky and they're like, yo, I'm a humbucker. You should probably ask Greg. Greg or Scott, so maybe just talk to them and see what their current build time is, because I just don't know. It takes a little while because they build them literally from a block of wood and turn it into a guitar. So pretty sweet. I actually have a video about that. So anything else?
I gotta say, it looks really good though.
This one? Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's what we were talking about, because they the way they reliced it. Cause I'm not like the person who hates relic guitars. Like some people do. And my thing is, I'm just like, when I see a guitar, regardless of how old it is, like this one being relic, it looks like it's been played a whole bunch, and that just inspires me to want to pick the guitar up. So it doesn't matter to me that it's actually a new guitar that like looks old. I'm just like, I don't know. I look at it and like, I want to play that guitar. So I feel like if that's the end goal, then it doesn't matter if it's relic or not. And I feel like they did a good job, because maybe it was me and you, Adam, talking about how there's some bad relic jobs out there, and theirs is good. It's not too crazy, but it just looks like a broken guitar. So, broken in guitar. This guitar is not broken. If it was broken, it would just be more relic. That's a heavy relic job when it's broken. Yeah, it's a Townsend relic. That's how I'm ending my set, so just get ready. Super Relic, the new edition. So, anyone else?
Do you have any like go-to exercises whenever you're stuck in a rut? Like I know I don't know what I want to practice, but I know if I go do this exercise, it'll put me in a better headspace.
A rut buster?
A rut buster. I should make a guitar course about. Wait a second. I told you. No. Yeah. So one of the things I always like to do that I've in the past little bit kind of discovered that has been a lot of fun is using like droning tracks. You can just go to YouTube and be like, I wanted a drone track. And I was talking to some of the people who took lessons today about this, and it's kind of interesting because I think whenever you use like a backing track, we can get kind of distracted because there's other guitar parts and bass and drums. So when you have just that drone kind of going on, effects on the screen. You just have that drone and you can kind of mess around, and it makes you focus more on what you're playing. And then you get to pick your scale too. So if I'm like, I want it to sound like totally metal right now, I would do like something in Phrygian, or something like that. I'd just be like, oh, all right. And it kind of makes you think differently versus the backing track kind of tells you what to play. And this, you're kind of like telling it what's up. You're like, dude, I want you to be metal right now. So it's up to you to make it sound that way. So I think that always helps me. And then, like I said, it gives you a chance to work on modes. And like, I feel like I wish I was like Steve Vai, so then I do like Lydia. Or the Simpsons theme song. Learning stuff right now. But, any other questions?
Robert, what was your first guitar that you ever owned?
my first guitar was this like silver looking Samick. I don't know if they're still a brand or not. Are they? Oh, I don't know. It was. Do I?
That was my first.
That was your first guitar? Oh, it was a Samick with like 3 single coils, and then I traded it for an Esteban acoustic because I'm a total. But I got the DVDs, and he like taught me all kinds of sweet stuff that I never learned. And I still wish I had that guitar. I don't, because I think that there's a lot of people who like, I don't need this guitar anymore, and you just get rid of it, and then you're like, I really wish I would have like hung onto that guitar. That was mine, a Samick into an Esteban. God. Anyone else? Are we good on time? I don't know what the time is. Good, you're here.
We're here all night.
All right. Just gonna play the same songs on loop. Didn't plan to do that dive bomb until like 2 seconds before I got I was like, this is going to be a bad idea, I can tell. Completely out of tune. Whew. Alright, that hurts now. Any other questions? Oh, you guys could get tired of this. I'm going to ask myself questions.
Okay, I got one for you. So
Yes.
earlier, you said that you like the action on your guitars really, really high. Like why?
I don't know. That's a great question. I always just like to really be able to grab the strings. It's kind of like on a scallop guitar we were talking about. You can really grab the strings on it. So I've always just had higher action, and there's always going to be the person who doesn't believe it and who does. But I think higher action sounds better because you're further away from the strings. So and again, I'm not like a scientist, but to me, when the string would vibrate and it hits the fingerboard, there's more space between it. So like the wavelength or whatever you want to call it would be wider because it's hitting that. And I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, you know, higher action sounds like this. I was like, it's always just sounded better to me. And the sustain to me is way better. Like if you have like super low action, usually the sustain of the note is nowhere near as long if you have higher action. The counter side of it is that it's too high of action, you push the note out of tune whenever you fret it. So you kind of have to find that sweet spot, and I've always just dug, like I said, most people who play my guitars are like, you need to get this thing set up. And I'm like, it is set up, it's just set up for me. So it's a total like personal preference kind of thing. But I feel like it sounds better. Tone what is real.
Oh, no.
And now we go there. Anyone else? Anyone at all? Yes.
Do you find it odd going from like a Strat style guitar to like what you have now, like the necks
Yes.
and things? Is it weird when you play one and play the other?
Yeah, super weird. That's what they asked me if I was going to switch guitars while I was playing. I was like, no, I can't, because it takes a minute to adjust. And since I've had this one, I've been playing it pretty much nonstop. So I'm kind of like in that like LP like 24. It was what 24 3/4 mindset. So then to go to a Strat or something like that, or like a Strat length, which would be like 25 and a half. Yeah, it would kind of mess me up a little bit because I do find myself, it takes me like a moment to like adjust. So I was like, I'll just jam this one the whole time. But
When are you gonna grow a beard?
I'm actually been working on that for like 15 years. I can't grow a beard. It's all here. This is my beard. The beard's just on top of my head. Or maybe I can just borrow your beard.
I'll trade you beard for hair.
Beard for hair. The latest craze. Beard for hair.
Do you play with a band or just with the solo tracks?
Yeah, we do have a band. It's like strictly for fun. So it's just like when we have time. Like everyone in the band's kind of like super busy, but we have like a bunch of songs done, and just like we could probably go record them. I would just need to remember them now, but because we haven't played in a few months. So, but yeah, in a band, but it's just strictly on the side. It's kind of like too hectic. Like wife, kid,
Trips to Germany.
trips to Germany, you know, that thing. But it, yeah, it's like I said, it's just whenever we have time. So the drummer's actually a doctor, so he's actually very busy all the time.
Saving lives.
Yeah,
Saving lives, yeah.
he's the one who actually does stuff. The rest of us are just like musicians. Yeah. Anything? No,
Yeah,
I
guess-
do not know anything about
I
beards.
guess kind of like what Ron was talking about, like going in between two guitars. Like I find, I just want to say, I find it weird too because I own a lot of guitars, but I normally a lot of times I find myself. Sometimes I'll play the same one for like 2 weeks straight, and then I'll try to go back to like I'll play my LTD, and I'll try to go back to my Gibson Les Paul, and it's like, wow, you know, I need to kind of. I feel like I need to play them all more often, but sometimes it's weird because you go from. But you know, a more metal guitar like an LTD, and then you go to more traditional
Right.
guitar like a Gibson Les Paul, and it's just weird. It's like the other day I played 3 guitars in one night, but it's like I feel like you can't always just play one guitar. I feel like if you have them, you need to play them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you would think about that, but I feel like if I play one guitar for 2 weeks and I only stick to that one, you know, if I get a new one or something like that, or if I'm just not feeling my other ones,
Right.
it's weird to go back to it. And then I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you can't just stick to one guitar all the time because if you do that, you're never gonna branch out. I guess I don't know. It's weird.
No,
it's weird for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I used to have, a single guitar that is the only guitar I played, and what I found is like I'd go into a music store and I could play
Yeah.
nothing. It was just awful.
Yeah, it's like you know you're good at guitar, but then you try to go play another one. It's like I have no idea how this thing works. You know,
Yeah.
it's really weird.
It's weird. Yeah,
Really weird.
that's why because I have the basically like the Romulus heritage from Acacia, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is, I make it a point to not only play that guitar because it's spec'd out as like the ultimate guitar that I would want for me, and I'm just like I need to make it a point because otherwise I'll just play that one all the time, and then I'll go to grab something that's like this scale length,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, now what do I do? I can't play it.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I had one question.
Yes.
Might be a good wrap-up question, but in,
Sure.
in today's industry, do you think it's necessary to have a band, or can you obviously make a go at it and a living as a solo artist?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think the band thing can. I think bands are probably better off now with the tools that are available to like really manage yourself. Like before, even like when I've been playing for like 13 years. So like even back then when I started, like YouTube obviously wasn't a thing, and it was like you still had to, basically be in a band if you wanted to do something with music, or maybe like teach or something like that. But I think that there's just so many opportunities now with YouTube. Like even Facebook is a great marketing tool. It's all really just opened up so much for everyone, because I never would have thought I could just make YouTube videos and teach. I was like, that was a path that never like crossed my mind of like, this is what I want to do. So it's really interesting, and it's just cool because it's like anybody can do it. Like there's no like specialty of like, you can't do it, you have a beard. I think beards actually get better views. That's my issue.
I don't think that you. I think you're
Figured it
doing
out.
fine.
But no, yeah, I think that I don't think the band's necessary, but I think if you are in a band, you have a lot of tools nowadays. Because I'm in a band, but just strictly for fun. So no other like outcome is what I'm like pushing towards for that. But yeah, I think that you could do it with or without a band. Could end up in Texas eating barbecue,
Yeah.
talking to a bunch of people, cool people.
I got a question for the makers. Are they copyrighted on what you can make and what you cannot make as far as like body style?
The only thing you can really copyright, and it's not really a copyright, it's a trademark. You can trademark the shape of your headstock, and even then it's iffy.
Right.
I know back in the day Fender and Gibson, there's battles between people and small builders, and essentially it all went to court, and judges ruled like, this is ridiculous, you're trademarking 6 holes in a piece of wood and ruining people's lives. So it's kind of up in the air now. So I think my headstock is pretty different looking, so I haven't run into any issues with that. But
So like on the bodies, can you make like a Les Paul body, or do you have to change it up a little bit?
I changed it up I drew that thing up over 5 years ago.
Right.
And didn't have a CNC machine. I was doing everything by hand. And I remember thinking like, oh, I want this carved top and this way. Then I literally was like, oh wait. I just shelved it,
Right.
Because I couldn't do it what I wanted to do. But I mean, every guitar company has a Strat, a Tele, a P-Bass, and they're not all getting sued anymore, at least. So
Thank goodness.
yeah, but it's just people build stuff different. So even though it's the same shape, it's completely different.
I will say, I think that's one of the coolest things, like the coolest shapes I've ever seen on a single pedal, like a Les Paul style body. That is like one of the coolest looks I've ever seen. I shared it today on Facebook, and my friend was like, "Holden, this is the guitar, man." And I was like, "Well, if I had a little bit more money, maybe." But it is very nice though. It was like a Blue Burst. Y'all share it or something like that, man. It was one of the nicest guitars I've seen in a while.
Kind of looks like something Paul delivered.
Yeah.
It's got kind of that.
I can't remember what his guitar is called.
Iceman.
Fire. Oh, his is Fireman.
Is it Fireman?
Yeah, upside down.
That's right.
Yeah. If there's no other questions, then I think that'll be it. Just make sure, like I said, the guitars will be over there. If you want to be all 80s, I got a leopard print strap on mine that you guys can jam out on. And other than that, I think that's it. Thank you everybody so much for coming. And here's Greg from Acacia.
I want to thank Ryan and Angela, RNA Music, for letting us come out and do this. Thank Robert for coming out, helping us out, jamming. It's always fun to hang out with him and hear him play. Incredible. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Hope you guys have fun. I know we did. It's nice meeting everyone, and I'm glad to show you guys our stuff. And if you guys want to play them, let's do that now. Hang out.
Yeah.
Do all that jazz, right? So thank you guys again.
Awesome.